I gotta do it. I gotta do it, man. I gotta do it. This is how we found Phillip, right?
That's in the eye of, yeah, that. So scared of all my instructors.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move forward again.
Mm-hmm.
You checked in. You're at 3rd Ranger Battalion.
Mm-hmm.
Time doesn't slow down, and really, you shouldn't either. We all sit around and say, "Oh, I'll get to that." Something shouldn't like protecting your family. Fabric by Gerber Life is
So
term
we're
life
after
insurance
Phillip,
you can
right?
get done today. It's made for
Phillip's
busy
the
parents
homie,
like
though,
you,
like,
all online on
so.
your schedule, right from your couch. You could be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required. Fabric has flexible, high-quality policies that fit your family and your budget. Like $1 million in coverage for less than $1 a day. If you have kids, and especially if you're young and healthy, the time to lock in low rates is now. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/SRClips. That's meetfabric.com/SRClips. meetfabric.com/SRClips. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company, not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions. What's it like when you meet your team?
Terrifying. I heard a mass, like a stampede, coming through the barracks. Loud, doors being kicked, and they're screaming, "Where's the new guy?" And I'm huddled in my room, sitting in my bed, terrified. Like, there's no way they're going to find out I'm in here. And all of a sudden, I lock my door, and I see my door shaking, and they're picking the lock. Then they kick my door open. All these guys come in, and they flood my room with beers in hand. I'm looking at them like, I'm not even a drinker like that.
Yo.
I had like one Heineken in Airborne, and I hated it. So now I'm stuck with this room full of Rangers shoving beer down my mouth and just take that back. That sounds really bad, but they're giving me a bunch of beer and stuff like that to drink, and I remember getting just absolutely shit-faced. And the next morning we had to run like 6 miles and me throwing up. But it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was just terrifying that these guys, in my mind, all just came back from killing people in war. And
Have they?
Yeah. They were in Afghanistan during that time, and they did a few recovery operations with the SEAL team. And most of the stuff in Afghanistan, that's when they were getting into more of the direct action type stuff. So they were upping their package and their amount of combat that they did see. Prior to that, it was a lot of working with Delta and pulling security and stuff like that before, I guess they got their hands full, Delta, and we started picking up the more direct action and purely just direct action raids, and sometimes doing side-by-sides where Delta's hitting one building and we're hitting the other building, and working with them in that nature. Yeah, it was terrifying, but also at the same time I felt like it was good to be a part of a group like that. I just wasn't sure if I could hang because they were animals, physically fit, and I had no idea if I was going to be able to even keep up with these guys. So I thought my time was going to be short-lived because, like, these guys could be hammered one night and the next morning running 6-mile runs like it's nothing. And it was, I didn't think I was going to be able to keep up with these. And then we went on to the training cycle. 6 months training cycle. Started off with airfield seizure, and that was my first introduction. This was like 2 weeks after I arrived. And my first exercise was taking over an airfield, and had no idea how to do it, except for how to jump out of the plane. And it was my first nighttime jump in full combat gear and equipment. And as a new guy, you're stacked onto this C-17, and the Humvees are in the middle of the formation, lined up on the bed of the C-17, and watching them get sucked out the back ramp as a new guy, never seeing this, my mind's blown of like, wow, this is pretty neat. I'm actually doing like cool guy stuff. And it's time to jump. My first jump in battalion, I'm weighing it.
Phillip is a cool guy, and that's that. You know what I mean? We don't need to go back and forth every day, bro.